welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah and you're watching So Beauty Stuff. So today I'm doing a video that's actually been requested quite a few times over the past probably 10 months now, but I actually wanted to wait to do this until now because I am now a fully qualified makeup artist. This is my New Zealand certificate in makeup and skincare level 3. So I graduated in May. So this is proudly on display in my makeup room. So since I mentioned a while back that I was doing my course, the last video I did about it was actually a tour through the makeup kit that we got. I've had quite a few people messaging me or commenting on that video asking me what the course is like, what my feedback on the course is, and what I recommend people go and study makeup if they haven't already. So I'm going to try and answer all of those questions in this video. Here in New Zealand, and I think it's the same in the UK, you don't have to have a qualification. Lots of people are self-taught and lots of people are doing really well. To go and study makeup, it's easy to think that it's going to be a walk in the park, but it is a qualification, it is hard work, it takes time, it takes effort, it costs money. So is it worth it? Stay tuned to find out. So for anybody that doesn't know, I studied at Samala Robinson Academy in Auckland. I work full-time in a non-makeup related job. I don't want to leave my job. Makeup is something I'm doing on the side. I do it at weekends, I do it at evenings, and done the occasional event, that kind of thing. So Samala Robinson Academy, where I did eventually end up studying, I'd done a course with them before. It was a 10-week part-time course, and it's kind of like a taster of what studying there can be like, and I did really enjoy that. The only reason I hadn't then made the jump to doing the full-blown qualification was essentially money. So they do the full qualification part-time as well, so you can do it outside of work. The way they do that is 2 evenings a week, 6 PM till 9 PM, and then every third Saturday for the full day. So it's definitely doable alongside full-time work. And they were advertising that you can get fees free. It was something I decided to look into. As it turns out, I didn't qualify, but once I started looking at it and realizing it's something I'd like to do, I just decided to bite the bullet and go for it anyway. So I'll start with the negative side of the course, only because I don't want to end on negative, I want to end on a positive. The biggest negative for me for the whole course is actually something very unique to not just me but my class's experience with the school, and fortunately it's something that's not going to happen to anybody else. It just was down to timing, but it didn't make it any less of an impact on my experience, so I'm going to share it. So my understanding of the situation with the school is the NZQA had changed their requirements. Our class was the first class to enrol at the school that was going to graduate in 2019. And so my understanding is that we were the first class that had to fall under these new rules. So there was a new head tutor at the school, the course was in a new format, there was new course content, and there were some new rules imposed at the school as well, which hadn't been there when I'd done the part-time course before. So it was a little bit of a shock to come into all of that. There was things like essay writing, which they've now replaced with, I guess, booklets that you fill in. They had kit limitations, so there's a mandatory kit that you have to buy when you enroll in the course, and we were told we could only use that. If you are training for 9 months, you don't really want to be stuck with a limited kit that whole time. You want to be able to expand it, grow it as your knowledge does, as your experience with products does. And it wasn't a huge comprehensive kit. It was a basic starter kit, which I think would have been great if the idea was to build on it, but to restrict you to that was kind of a bit of a red flag for me. So because of all these new changes, there was definitely a lot of teething issues and a lot of the class were unhappy. We actually, I believe it was 16 people enrolled in our class, and only 6 of us made it to the end, so a lot of people dropped out. A few months in, I think the school really heard our concerns. I don't think it was just us. I think a lot of the tutors were really unhappy with the new format as well. So they changed a lot of things. They changed up, I mentioned, they switched out the essays. They tried to incorporate a lot of the creative stuff that they used to have in the course and work that around the unit standards. They got a different head tutor in. So all of our concerns were essentially answered, but it did take a couple of months for that to happen. And so it was really rough to start with, and I'm not surprised a lot of girls dropped out. But as I mentioned, that change, that transition has now happened, it's not going to happen again, so it's not something anyone else is going to experience. The second negative point I'm going to raise is part-time is hard. People do part-time because they have busy lives, they have other things going on. Like I mentioned, I work full-time, we had lots of people that had children, working, all kinds of different things going on in their lives. So it is really tiring. So the 2 nights a week that I would have course, I would be at work from 8 o'clock in the morning, I would go straight to course after work, and I wouldn't finish till 9 p.m. So that's a really long day, and that's not including my travel either side. So it was a long day, and it was twice a week. There was homework on top of that. There was often essay writing, there was often research assignments, face charts, mood boards, that kind of thing. So there was lots to do outside of that as well. So to fit it in alongside full-time work or whatever you have going on in life is a big commitment. And I was very relieved at the end to have my evenings back. The third negative I'm going to bring up is kind of off the back of part-time. Like I said, part-time students often have very busy lives. And unfortunately, a knock-on effect of that was a lot of the time students would turn up to class late or not at all. Attendance was a really, really big issue. It was quite a distraction. So often you would have at the beginning of a lesson a tutor demo, and you'd have people walking in halfway through, and so the tutor would have to catch up what they'd missed, or if students had missed whole classes, people would be doing catch up in a class where we were trying to do something new, and so different people in the class were doing different things, which meant the tutor couldn't fully focus on the current course content. That's just part of life. Not everyone can make it to every class, but I found that a consistent issue, and it was quite distracting, and unfortunately tutors' time was quite heavily swallowed up. The later we got into the course as well, the worse it got. So that was hard. But I will go to the flip side of that and move on to my positives. While part-time was a negative, it's also a huge positive. As I mentioned at the beginning, if they didn't have part-time courses available, I wouldn't have done the course. So the fact that they have facilitated for evening and weekend classes just means such a huge amount of people can go through and study and get their qualification without dropping out of work, which makes it possible financially, and that's amazing. I'm not sure that any of the other schools did that. I'm not certain. I actually didn't shop around classes because I'd already been to the school before, so I knew that I liked it, I knew I liked their style. So the other positive is you are doing makeup regularly. So as I mentioned, I'm doing makeup alongside full-time work. There's often weeks where I don't have clients, but being at the course meant that I was doing makeup at least 3 times a week. It was making me pick up my tools 3 times a week. It was making me practice different faces, different styles, different techniques. So it really, really helped me to build up speed, to build up experience, and to just practice my art. Off the back of that, another positive is your tutors are makeup artists that were really, really skilled, really talented, and they were able to show us their skills and teach us, pass on their knowledge, pass on their experience, and we got something a little bit different from every single tutor. I think during my time we had 4 different tutors take our class. That was a really cool way of experiencing different makeup artists and be able to learn from them. So anything else? So this isn't necessarily things that fall under positive or negative, just things to consider. So firstly, the kits. The kits are quite expensive. I mean, not for what they are. The kit we had to purchase was $850. So in the grand scheme of things, it's actually not that expensive. But it is a cost if you already have a full kit and you don't need more makeup. I understand why they make everybody have the same kit. Nobody's without anything, nobody's unable to do particular makeup looks. But that is an additional cost. It is something that that you're going to have to invest in order to take part in the course. The other thing I will say is you get out what you put in. You can't just show up to these classes and expect to become a great artist. So you have to be prepared to be patient, to work hard, to receive constructive criticism, to make mistakes, to learn from those mistakes, and while doing that, you will improve. And it's not just the tutors that you will learn from, it's the other students. They're all at varying different degrees of where they are in their artistry, but they've all got different experience, different knowledge, different styles, different products, and it was really cool to sort of have a collaborative environment with different artists that were all learning together. And there would always be someone that would ask a question or point something out that you would never have thought of, and you get to benefit from learning from that. One other thing to note, it's not just makeup. I think we were probably, I want to say 4 or 5 weeks in maybe before we even received our kits. There's a lot of theory as well. You're learning about skincare, you're learning about hygiene, you're learning a lot about face shapes, eye shapes, corrective, application. You're learning the theory behind it, which when you are signed up to makeup school and you're turning up and you're excited and you want to get practicing, can be really, really dull. But very, very necessary, and that's some of the stuff that I've enjoyed the most and I've learned from the most, because from having that knowledge you then improve your craft with makeup. So again, be prepared to do the written work, the research. You have to complete the unit standards. So if you do want to know a little bit more about the actual course content, the looks that we did, I've actually put in a blog post with images of every single makeup look I did throughout the course. I took pictures on my phone at every single lesson, so I've scrolled through, you know, almost a year's worth of photos to extract all the pictures, to put them in that blog post. So you can have a look at that if you want to really have a look at every single look I did. So in conclusion, do I recommend the course? When all is said and done, I have my qualification. So yes, I'm really happy with the outcome. Regardless of any positive or negative experiences that have happened throughout the course. When you think about it, you're studying something. We were there for 9.5 months. So of course you're gonna have ups and downs, but in the end, I feel I got exactly what I wanted. My skills have improved massively. I definitely feel I'm a better artist now than I was at the beginning. I've got a lot more knowledge, a lot more confidence, and that's what I went into the course wanting. So yes, I definitely recommend it if you are able to. If you've been thinking about whether or not studying makeup is the right choice for you, whether you've been wondering whether it's worth the investment, in my opinion, yes it is. If you have any other questions, just drop them down below. I will answer them. Don't forget to check out the blog post if you want to have a better look at the images and a little bit more about the course itself. Other than that, that's it. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you've learned something. I hope this has been valuable for you. If you want to, you can subscribe to my channel, and hopefully you'll be back for my next video. Bye.